Hi there. If you're getting this video, that means you are one of the givers to Grace Place Church during 2020. Thank you so much for your contribution, because every part matters. That makes you a part of the team, the ministry team at Grace Place. Now, usually, sometime in late January or early February, we have a partners meeting, a partners breakfast we've done the last few years on a Saturday morning, and we invite everybody who are participating in giving to God's work through Grace Place Church. Well, this year, due to COVID and so many changes and restrictions, we decided to record this video. So we're going to do it a little bit different this year, and we're going to treat this like our annual meeting. And if you have more questions or if you have any concerns about anything I say, please send me an email. And my address is clay.peck@graceplace.org. I'd be happy to answer your questions if I can, or send them to someone who can answer them. One of the things we do at our annual meeting every year is we affirm new trustees, or we remind you of who the trustees are. The trustees are a team that meet with me on a monthly basis. They're an accountability team. They're an advisory team. They look at our finances and help to monitor and to supervise our overall financial plan as a church. And I really value these advisors and friends in my life. And this year, we're adding 2 new members to the team of trustees. And the first is Bill Miller. Now, many of you know who Bill is because he served in many capacities here at Grace Place. He was a trustee for a number of years in the past. He was the chairman of the building team when we relocated to our current property. And for 3 years, he served as a volunteer yet full-time pastor of operations here at Grace Place. And with his retire from that role last year, I've asked him to continue on in a financial supervising role. And so he is bringing the monthly report to the trustees. And he does an excellent job with that due to his business experience. And I really appreciate Bill. So in just a moment, we're going to introduce all the trustees to you so you can know who they are and know what they look like if you haven't met them yet. But first will be Bill, and he's new this year in this capacity, or he's returning in this capacity. Second new trustee is Marty Duke. Marty's been at Grace Place a long time, and I really value his ministry role. He has led a small group for many years. In fact, his small group probably did more than any other small group when it comes to serving as a group, joining together and going out to serve and do projects and to help people in need and so on. I really admire the way Marty led that group, and also his discernment and his good questions and counsel that he's given me over the years. And so I'm happy to welcome him to the trustees. And then as we play these interviews, you can meet our other trustees that make up a great team here at Grace Place.
Hello. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Bill Miller. I spent 35 in the lumber business, retired 10 years ago as the president and CEO of Alpine Lumber. More recently, I have served on staff here at Grace Place for the last 3 years, retiring in fall of 2020. Let's see, I've been coming to Grace Place for about a dozen years with my wife, Karen. And the things I like about Grace Place, really 2 things come to mind. The first is Pastor Clay Peck. I've had the privilege of really getting to know him, not only professionally, but personally, and he's an incredible man of God. I tell people all the time that he not only talks the talk, but he walks the walk. The other thing that I love about Grace Place is the congregation. I think about the vast majority of our close friends, and frankly, they all come from Grace Place. So, that's it.
I'm Marty Duke. Me and my wife Debbie and our 3 boys started attending Grace Place in 2006 on Thursday nights. We moved to Colorado when I took a position as a sales manager for a small manufacturer's rep firm that sells semiconductors and test instruments into the storage area networking industry. The things that attracted us initially to Grace Place are the same things that we're excited about today. The great biblical teaching that we have here with Clay, the commitment that Grace Place has to local and international outreach, And then the fact that there's so many people that for the first time get their introduction to Jesus through the ministries here at Grace Place. We really enjoy the celebration services with the baptisms.
Hi, my name is Jody Walsh, and I've been with Grace Place since 2001, I think, so 19, 20-ish years. I am a technical advisor for the company I work for. I work for Lexmark. And Grace Place, I love the people, I love the preaching. It's my family, and so you're stuck with me.
I'm David Dalton. I'm a professional pilot, fly for a company called FlexJet. Been going to Grace Place about 12 years or so. We had just helped close down a church when we started coming here, and we were going to spend 6 months looking for our next home. We came here once and heard Clay and saw everything was done with excellence here and decided this is our home. Been involved ever since. I'm a trustee. I've done some volunteer work here and there. My wife has done some teaching. We've taught classes together. Really enjoy everything about it.
My name is Jordan Austin. I've been attending Grace Place as a partner since, about 8 years ago. I'm married to Diana, got 3 wonderful boys, and I run a financial strategy consulting practice. And what I love about Grace Place is that it's a church that's not afraid to get dirty, whether that's the mess inside of us or getting out into the community and actually doing work that really matters.
My name's Dale Hand, and I'm honored and privileged to be on the Grace Place trustees. I'm a pharmacist, but I've been retired for almost 4 years now. Prior to that, I spent 47 years in the profession, primarily in hospital management. My wife and I enjoy traveling now, so that's mostly what we try to do, except for this last year has thrown a few wrinkles. We've been attending Grace Place full-time since about 2002. Prior to that, when we lived down in the Denver area, we visited Grace Place whenever we had an opportunity to do so, and always enjoyed the fellowship and the services here. What I like most about Grace Place, I guess, is the inclusiveness. Everybody's welcome here. It doesn't matter whether you're an unbeliever, a seeker, you have questions, doubts, fears, or you're a committed follower of Jesus Christ. We're all the same. We're all dependent upon the grace of Jesus Christ, and so nobody judges here. We're just all in the same family.
My name is Heidi Roger. I've been attending Grace Place with my husband Felix for 14 years. For work, I work for Thompson School District. I'm a project manager, and I work on renovations in the schools, including all the Berthoud schools. I still remember the first time we attended, and we loved the teaching so much. We looked at each other and we said, this is it. We've been shopping for churches, but hadn't really found the right fit. And I just so much appreciate Clay's teaching and how it's so focused on the Bible. I feel like I learn so much every week, and it is just really applicable to my life. I remember when I was young, like a young adult, and I grew up in the Catholic Church, and I remember just praying that the message would have some type of application to my life, but it never did. So I was really, really happy when we found Grace Place.
Hey, we're not taking a vote on our trustees this year, but I'm just going to assume that you are in favor unless I hear from you before February. Okay, let's say if you have any concerns or questions about our trustees, about our finances, send me an email before February. Otherwise, I'll assume that you are good with our direction, and I appreciate that. All right, so I'd like to talk a little bit about what happened in 2020 and just celebrate with you for a moment. And rather than printing an annual report this year, we're going to have a link that you can go to click on. If you'd like to look more carefully at what I'm going to present very quickly here, you can do that by finding a link below where you found this video in your email. So our annual report for 2020, obviously 2020 was a very different year. But I'm so proud of our staff and our volunteers and you. I'm so proud of how this church stayed healthy even during a very difficult season. Our mission statement as a church is to break barriers, build bridges, and bring hope. And that's exactly what we continue to do, even with the challenges of the COVID season we've been in. We broke barriers. Grace Place adjusted to the months of quarantine by moving from only broadcasting our Sunday services online to creating a whole Grace Place online campus, including virtual community groups and online devotions. This is an important next step that we're going to continue as a church, reaching not only those who are in the room, but those that we can connect with digitally. We built bridges. Although Trailhead Cafe shut down in-person dining, $3,600 came in through the Pay It Forward initiative to provide meals to frontline workers and the elderly during the COVID-19 shutdown. Thank you, all of you who contributed to that. And we brought hope. Pastors were able to pray with people from all over the country via Facebook Messenger voice recordings. And we tried to get creative with the way we filmed our messages as well to stay connected with you during this season. Speaking of our online campus, we now have 19 virtual groups, or we did during 2020, that we're meeting with Zoom or some other way. We had 328 average weekly online views, that's households or devices, and we had viewers from 5 different countries. Now, when we talk about online campus, we're talking about not just showing the message and the worship experience so that people who are sick or on vacation or just like to be in pajamas or not yet ready to come out because of COVID threat or whatever can view it. That's important. But also connecting with people who, for one reason or another, are not close enough to attend here or able to attend in person. And we're actually in the process of building that into a campus where they're ministered to and prayed for and learn to serve even remotely. And I'm excited about that. We'll be telling you more about that as we go. Our social media presence continues to grow on Facebook and Instagram, as you see the numbers there. And that is one of the primary ways today that we are able to market and reach people, and we appreciate that platform. Of course, we're back to in-person meeting now. We started that in September after exactly 6 months being closed after COVID hit. And we're seeing growth every week. Some of it is people coming back as they're starting to feel more comfortable. Some of it is new people, because a lot of people are moving to this area and did during the past year. And therefore, we've started some in-person small groups again, in-person meetings, 25 community groups, 149 group members. During the last year, we did 3 Connect groups, and we're doing another one right now on Thursday nights for people who don't have a group in their home but want to come and meet some others. We only had 16 baptisms in 2020, and I say only because we had 109 the year before, and I think we'll be up to 16 here in the first quarter of the new year. But everyone matters, right? And so we celebrate if just one person got baptized. But again, we had a very unique challenge last year to deal with, and we have been able to be resilient as a church, which is a blessing. Outreach is so important here at Grace Place, and let me give you a few highlights of our outreach during the past year. The global market that we cooperate with, that we support, sent over $20,000 to 9 organizations working on projects in Cambodia, Guatemala, Mali, Uganda, and the U.S. Through the Life Center that meets in our Outpost building on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we were able to serve 939 individuals. They serve them, but we support them and work along with them. We have 45 Kids Hope mentors who delivered gifts and activity packets and did online and pen pal mentoring during COVID-19 when the schools were not meeting in person. What a beautiful ministry that is. The Life Center that I spoke of has launched a new tutoring program that is open to everyone, no income guidelines required, if you know anybody who could benefit from that. Also, our mobile food bank, every other Saturday in our parking lot, we distribute food to whoever shows up. And 234 households were served through the mobile food bank. 136,638 pounds of food distributed through the mobile food bank. Thank you. You paid for all that. We paid for it together through faithful giving, and that went to bless a lot of people in the name of Jesus. Even during a difficult season of 2020, we were able to sponsor 51 more children in Ecuador. I'm so proud of that partnership we have. And we were able to sponsor more kids. In fact, Grace Place has now sponsored 725 kids over the last number of years. On top of sponsored donations through Compassion International, an extra $32,500 was raised and sent to Grace Place, Ecuador, to expand their existing building, build a retaining wall, and purchase a much-needed motorcycle or scooter with a helmet for the pastor there, and we're excited about that. Right now, there's 519 Compassion sponsorships that are active. We have, when you add up these monthly contributions that we're all doing to help those kids in Ecuador, it's a lot of money every year. In fact, about $236,000 did not come through our normal church giving, but went directly to those sponsorships. Thank you, church, for being a part of that. If you're not a part yet, just hang on. We're going to give you a chance later because we're building a new church in Peru, and we're going to have the same kind of partnership with Compassion. I'm so excited about that. We also, 3 times we sent $5,000 to help with COVID relief. Once to our partners in Ecuador, and they used that to take food and blessings, tangible blessings to all those families of the kids that we sponsor. And then we sent $5,000 to our partner church that we also planted in Mexico City, Grace Place, Mexico City. They also helped those who were struggling. A lot of it went to food. And then we also sent $5,000 to our partners in India, and that money was used exclusively to help the prostitutes in the red light district who were out of work because of COVID, and they were hungry. And in the name of Jesus, in the name of the Covenant Church in India, they were served, and there was great impact as a result. And it all happened because of your generosity. I cannot say thank you enough. I'm so excited about our young adult and youth and kids ministry. We had to put our college on hold for now. I hope that will come back, and I trust that will come back, but because of the whole COVID thing. But our youth ministry is running strong, and there's 94% active in small groups. That's incredible. 58% serving. We've had a number of teenagers step up and say, hey, how can I get in the game and be serving? And I love seeing that. They're averaging 102 in person on Sunday nights. During the online-only services, students were reached in Arkansas, Tennessee, and all the way to Mexico. And that is exciting as well. Our kids ministry, they're averaging 109 average in-person attendance now since we've been regathering. It's like 150 kids last week. That's growing. 140 volunteers serving through 31 new volunteers, and we're recruiting more now as well if you'd like to get involved. Almost 3,000 minutes were viewed of Grace Place Kids Facebook videos, and our team got so creative last summer to try to continue to engage children, which is a challenge when they can't be there in person, but our team all worked together, and I'm so proud of them. And we did some Colorado Adventure epic series that were really fun for the kids. 377 kids and parents attended our summer breakouts. We weren't able to do our normal breakaway camp, and so our team just pivoted and got creative and went to parks and invited people to come and did a great job. We are looking forward to bringing back Breakaway this summer, and we believe it's going to be the best one ever. Again, you can click and you can go look at this report, which is some basic summaries, and you'll see there also a breakdown of our finances for last year. So if you look at that simple breakdown, income, our regular tithes and offerings, and I want to thank you if you're a tither. No matter who you are and what you give, God loves you, I love you. Thank you for contributing. But those of you who have stepped up to the biblical expectation of taking 10% off the top. The Bible calls it the first fruits, and putting that into God's work through the local church. I know God is blessing you for that, and He is blessing God's people through you, through the church, because of that. And I just want to really thank you. And so we were just over $2 million in tithes and offerings for 2020. We almost hit $200,000 in our special Bring Hope offerings, which is about 20% of the whole income for the year, and that's all to bless people in Jesus' name. And that includes that new church we're going to build in Peru. Again, I've probably used the word excited quite a few times already, but this is good news that we're going to do another church in Peru, just like we've done in Mexico City and Ecuador. Other income is renting the building and various other things, and you can see the total there on the screen. And then expenses, personnel is 47%, operations 19%, mortgage 22%, outreach 6%, ministry 6%. You'll see we were just slightly over in our expenses than our income. And we were able to easily do that because of reserves and because of having a really strong year-end giving last year. That is the year before last, 2019. Now, when it comes to our budget for next year, usually we lay out a projected budget for you as we did last year. We're not doing that this year. And the reason is because of the realities of the season, we have had to tighten our belts here at the church. We've had to really get we've had to get serious about looking closer at our budget and saying, what can we do without? The reason for that is, well, first of all, let me just say, there are many churches that did not do as well in 2020 as we did. There are many churches that some of them closed permanently. Some of them laid off large numbers of staff. I know one church that had a lot of staff, they laid off over 50%. We did not have to do that at Grace Place. We had to temporarily close our cafe, unfortunately, but we plan to bring that back this year when the time is right and the vision and leadership. But so pray about that. That's coming. But we did not have to lay off our ministry staff, and we were able to make our payments on our mortgage. We were able to survive and even thrive in terms of our outreach during 2020. That's because of you. That's because of God working through you. Thank you for being partners. Having said that, we did not end the year the way we anticipated. We were $250,000 roughly short of where we were the year before. So we saw a decline during the last 6 months. Maybe some of you lost income and you couldn't give what you used to give. That's understandable. We had projected a 10% increase in 2020, just as we had seen in 2019. And that was around $250,000. So if you put that together, we're about $500,000 short at the end of the year from where we thought we would be. And our year-end giving, although it was strong, and I'm really happy about the projects we're going to do, it was about half of what it was last year. So facing these realities, we've decided as we go into the new year, we're going to do what we've did for the last 6 months of 2019, and that is we're doing a rolling 90-day budget. We're asking the staff and ministry teams to put together their goals and plans for the next 90 days, and then those numbers also have dollars attached to them, and we're approving that on a quarterly basis. Eventually, we'll get back to an annual budget, and we can put that before you, but right now, we're tight. And if, we've had to say no to some legitimate requests from our staff for ministry, but we're trying to be the best stewards we can with the resources we have. And so I'm hoping and trusting that our giving is going to increase this year as our attendance is increasing, and we're going to get back to where we were or better as the year goes on, and then we'll be able to put some of those things back in that we've had to take out. But for now, we're making it happen. And the trustees ask that I tell you, and this is from my heart, how much they and I'm one of the trustees, appreciate the way our staff and ministry leaders have been faithful stewards over the last year and careful and willing to, go without something they hope to have to support ministry in order for us to be successful, for us to make it. And so I want to encourage you to continue, and I want to encourage you to get in the game as a tither if you're only a tipper, and watch how God will bless you. And again, if you have questions, if they're specifically about finances and you'd like to know more details about our finances, I would ask you to submit those to, or I'll pass them on for you to bill.miller@graceplace.org, since he's the trustee who brings our finance report and is best acquainted with the details, and he'd be happy to sit down with you or talk to you on the phone or converse with you in an email if you have questions. Thank you for taking time to make it to the end of this video, if you actually did. God bless you, and I can't wait to see what he's got ahead for us in the year 2021.